Breaking news, internet fam, grab your tea, your popcorn, and maybe a neck brace because today's scandal will snap your head clean off. Imagine suing someone for $5 million, strutting into court like you're about to win an Emmy, only for the judge, the internet, and your own receipts to drag you so hard your Wi-Fi disconnects. Yeah, that's what's happening to our girl Tasha K. You thought this was gonna be Bambi's downfall. Oh, sweet summer child. Turns out she didn't just show up with her lawyer. She brought the real receipts. Not the Instagram kind. Not the my cousin screenshots kind. I'm talking smoking gun, career ending, call damn, receipts, and trust me, these weren't printed at Staples. So how did we go from Tasha's untouchable to Tasha's untaggable? How did Bambi, who the blog swore was finished, flip this case like a table at a Real Housewives reunion? And most importantly, why is VH1 suddenly acting like they've never met either of these women? Sit down, strap in, and pray your faves have alibis. Because we're about to break down the lawsuit that backfired so hard. It should be studied in law schools and reality TV writers' rooms, alright? Let us start at the top of this reality TV meltdown, because if you do not understand the history, you will think this is some random courtroom drama, when in fact it is a finale no one scripted, but everyone predicted. On one side there was Tasha K, the woman who can turn gossip into gold and has made a career out of talking louder, longer, and dirtier than anyone else in the room. On the other side there was Bambi, the reality star who once thrived on reunion stages and dramatic walk-offs, but lately has been more famous for dodging rumors than making them. They have circled each other for years through subtweets, cryptic interviews, and side comments that could cut steel. And then one day it all boiled over on set. In front of cameras, in front of producers, and now in front of a judge. According to Tasha K, she was assaulted while doing her job and has been left with emotional scars, lost brand deals, and a damaged public image. According to Bambi, she was baited, cornered, and pushed over the edge by a production team and a co-star who knew exactly how to make her snap for ratings. This is not just a fight between two reality stars, it is a collision of egos, reputations, and receipts so sharp they might as well be weapons. Court open like a Netflix premiere. Tasha arrived in full glam, flanked by lawyers and binders, so thick you could use them as furniture, walking slow like the steps themselves should be honored. Outside, fans screamed her name and phones flashed like it was a red carpet. Inside, the room buzzed with the kind of electricity that makes people lean forward before the first word is spoken. When Bambi walked in, it was the opposite energy entirely. Black outfit, minimal makeup, no entourage, just her lawyer and an expression that looked like someone had stolen her last nerve. She did not smile, did not wave, just sat down, clenched hands in her lap. The opening statements could have been written by rival PR firms. Tasha's lawyer spoke about irreparable harm, brand devastation, and the right to work without fear of physical violence. Bambi's lawyer painted a picture of entrapment, of a woman already pushed to the emotional brink being deliberately provoked for entertainment value. The judge listened, unimpressed by the theatrics, reminding both sides that the court cared about facts, not followers. Then came the exhibits. Tasha's team played a slow-motion montage of the incident, the screams, the moment she hit the counter, the ambulance rolling away. Gasps filled the room. Bambi stared at the table, breathing heavy. Some in the gallery looked away. Others leaned in for a better view. The second clip was Tasha in a hospital bed, speaking softly to a camera about telling the truth and refusing to be silenced. It would have been sympathetic if the judge had not paused the video to ask whether it was monetized content because it had millions of views, sponsored ads, and donation links. The air shifted. Outside, social media caught fire. Fans picked sides. Twitter exploded with trending tags, and other reality personalities jumped in with cryptic posts and petty lies. Inside, Bambi's team answered with their own receipts. Text messages between Tasha and a producer discussing how to bait her, and promising Emmy-worthy footage if she lost control. The judge read them aloud and asked if they were authentic. A forensic team had verified them. Tasha's lawyer objected, claimed context was missing, but the words were plain and ugly. The room felt heavier after that. Bambi kept her eyes down, letting the weight of those messages do the talking. Outside the courthouse, the internet became an investigative unit, digging up old footage, comparing timelines, and piecing together a theory that the entire altercation had been engineered. Bloggers went live, fans clipped and remixed every leaked detail, and the scandal stopped being about two women and started being about an entire industry that profits from emotional breakdowns. Inside, the trial pressed on. Tasha's confidence flickered but never fully dimmed. Bambi stayed quiet except for whispered conversations with her lawyer, and the judge kept the proceedings on a tight leash. Every word, every exhibit, every facial twitch was being watched, dissected. and broadcast to a public that no longer just consumed drama, but actively participated in shaping it. What began as a lawsuit for damages was morphing into something bigger, something neither woman could fully control, and the feeling in the room, that prickly sensation at the back of the neck, was that the most damaging evidence had not even been shown yet. When court resumed the next day, the air was thick with expectation, as if everyone in the room knew that whatever happened now could flip the case entirely. Reporters filled every seat, and some were standing in the back taking notes at lightning. Speedwell cameras outside caught every arrival and departure like it was a film premiere. Bambi entered first this time, walking with her head up and a kind of steady defiance. That was hard to miss. Her lawyer carried a single folder, which somehow made it more intimidating than Tasha's stack of binders the day before. Tasha came in moments later, still in full camera-ready makeup, but with noticeably tighter body language, and an occasional glance toward her phone as if waiting for a message. The judge wasted no time calling the next witness, a former crew member from the show who had been in the room during the incident. Under oath, they described how producers had been whispering instructions through earpieces to both women, and how they had been told to keep the tension high and not step in unless physical harm was unavoidable. The gallery erupted in murmurs, and the judge had to order silence. The witness went on to say that they had warned a producer moments before the altercation that it was getting dangerous, but were told to stand back because the footage was too good. Tasha's lawyer tried to discredit the testimony, pointing out that the witness had been fired from the show months earlier, but the damage was done. The idea that the fight might have been encouraged, if not outright staged, now hung in the room like smoke. Then Bambi took the stand. She spoke slowly, but with a sharp precision, explaining that she had been dealing with personal stress outside the show, and had repeatedly asked for certain storylines to be dropped, but was told they were too important for ratings. She described feeling cornered during filming and said that, while she regretted the physical confrontation, she believed it was not an accident, but the direct result of deliberate provocation. When shown the text between Tasha and the producer, she confirmed they matched her own memory of the events. Tasha's team pushed back hard, arguing that Bambi had choices and could have walked away at any point. But Bambi countered by saying she had tried multiple times only to be blocked by production staff. With cameras, it became a battle of who had been more trapped and who had been more calculating. Then it was Tasha's turn to testify. Her delivery was emotional at times, almost trembling, when she talked about fearing for her safety and the pain of losing sponsorships. She painted herself as a professional doing her job in a hostile environment, and insisted that nothing about her injuries or her lawsuit was exaggerated. But when cross-examined, she was asked directly whether she had ever discussed leveraging the incident for publicity and monetization. She denied it until confronted with an email in which she had written to a team member about how the situation might boost her subscriber numbers and her revenue. Her face froze. The courtroom held its breath, and the judge asked her to read the line aloud. It was the kind of moment that shifts public perception in seconds. Outside, social media was already running with it. Clips of her reading the email began circulating within minutes, and people who had supported her began questioning motives. By the afternoon, legal analysts on talk shows were calling the case a double-edged sword where both women might walk away with damage to their reputations, no matter who won. Back inside, closing arguments began. Bambi's lawyer framed the case as a cautionary tale about exploitation in reality television, pointing to the pressure cooker environment and the producer's willingness to push human limits for profit. Tasha's lawyer tried to pull focus back to the assault itself, reminding the court that no matter the circumstances, physical violence could not be excused. The judge listened stone-faced, not revealing which way they were leaning. As the final words were spoken, the room felt suspended in time, everyone aware that the verdict would ripple far beyond the two women seated at those tables. When court adjourned, there was no immediate ruling, only the promise that a decision would come soon. Both women walked out separately, each surrounded by their teams, avoiding eye contact with one another, and with a swarm of press waiting outside. The crowd outside split into chants, some shouting support for Tasha, others for Bambi, and a few calling out the network that had aired the original footage. The cameras kept rolling, the headlines kept multiplying, and somewhere between the truth and the performance, the line blurred so completely that even those who had been in the room were left wondering which parts had been real and which had been written long before the first punch was ever thrown. If you have been following the story from the start, you know by now that reality television is rarely as spontaneous as it looks, and the drama that hooks us in can come with real-life consequences for the people involved. Whether you believe Tasha was a victim pushed into a dangerous situation, or you see Bambi as someone who fought back against manipulation, one thing is clear: these kinds of moments are built for ratings, and the human cost often gets ignored. The only way to keep networks and producers accountable is to keep talking about it, sharing the facts, and questioning the narratives we are fed. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the next deep dive into the stories behind the headlines. Leave your thoughts in the comments, because your perspective might shed light on details others missed, and let us know where you stand. After hearing all sides, share this video with someone who thinks reality TV is all harmless fun and show them what really goes on behind the scenes. The conversation starts here, but it does not have to end here.